Welcome everybody, here we are, Midwest Division 2, round number 2. We are in Japan for the Japanese Grand Prix. Full grid of 20 drivers today. Give me just a sec here, I'm just getting everything set up. As we see Fuse go for a spin there, on his out lap at least. No contact made, he should be able to keep rolling. That was that spoon. Let me go ahead and pull up track map. Try to adjust some of my settings here, just a second. Alright, Fuse will still be the first one to start his hot lap. So he'll be coming down the front stretch here. This will be the first part of the DRS zone. Heads into 1 and 2. A lot of action here. Catch a curb and you can definitely send the thing spinning. Last time we were here, I actually went for a drift that they caught on the stream. So see him coming through the S's. This will be a tricky area for everybody today. Definitely see some spins as we go. And there is one as I say it. Commentator Curtis goes for Fuse Rogue. His teammate rolling right behind him. That'll be the next one around. Mitch Burns will be the next one on a hot lap, looks like. Because he does have a Mercedes out in front of him. I believe that Mercedes is on an out lap. Yep, and he pulls off there to the side. See Mitch coming around up here to the hairpin. Didn't use up quite all the track, but definitely a good start. He'll have a good banker here, it looks like. Coming down into the spoon. Tricky area, definitely another one. The curbs here at Japan are very tricky. One of those tracks where you got to be careful on those curves. If you catch them, you're going to go for a spin. We got a ton of activity. We only got 17 out on the track right now. They're going to test the monkey, see how good he is at flipping through the field, trying to get through everybody. Mitch Burns here coming across. He'll be the first one to set a time. He's going to set the factor at 1:29.232 will be our start. After that, Evil Prime comes around with a 1:31.0. And we got GSR Edgar 1:30.3. J-Cast with a 1:29.847. And what do we got? Fuse Rogue with 1:59.047 as he had that spin. Capital is the next one around. Looks like he's on an invalidated lap. Then we got a McLaren coming around. Tiger NASCAR coming around. He'll set his time. Like I say, these guys are putting on the laps quick. Let's get the tires pulled up. See what everybody's on. Looks tons of mediums out there. Looks to be a good split as Tiger NASCAR goes 1:30.471. After that, Young DJ CJ sets a 1:31.58. Eltonian with 1:32.6. Got an Alfa Romeo coming around now. And that'll be Jonathan Dunk to P2. 5 1/1000ths off of the provisional pole of Mitch Burns. But he is on the mediums. There's Mercedes coming around. That looks like that was Nicky starting a lap. Like I say, these guys really coming around. S.C. Smith sets a 1:30.874. That Aston's into the pits. These guys are really testing me. Rattling laps off quick. Evil Prime coming around. He is just over 3/10 up on his lap. He'll be looking to improve. 3/10 to get him one spot. He goes about 4.5 up. Goes up to P6. 1:30.593. Let's see, got some more coming around. Mercedes goes around, and then we got an Alpine. Chatty Duck, a reserve at a 1:29.449 on the soft. So you can see we got 3 set on softs up there. First, third, and fourth, and then second and 5th through 11th are all on the mediums. So see what these guys can do on those. And we got text-to-speech coming around. We'll ride along with him as another Haas goes over the line. Doesn't look like anything's set. Ride along with text-to-speech here. He looks to set his first lap. And he'll go provisional pole 1:28.973. 3/10 up. He is on the softs. As we see laps just really getting rattled out here. Looks like S.C. Smith into the pits. I know that was Dunk into the pits. S.C. Smith also into the pits. Now we got an Aston Martin. That looks to be Soy Loco into the pits. Hightower looks like he is just starting an out lap. Now we got a Mercedes coming around. That's NFS Light Work. He'll come around and set his first time at a 1:28.816 to take provisional pole. Next round we got, looks like Chatty Duck. Yep, that was Chatty Duck. Then we got a Ferrari coming around. Houdini's going to be on an out lap. Then his Ferrari teammate, Capital 58, is on a lap, but he's 4.2 up. He'll be coming in. And it looks like we got a Haas of A. Deltonian coming around. He's got a 131.677 on the mediums. And looks like he's going into the pits as well. After that, we have Evil Prime is on an invalidated lap. Looks like Fusions will be the next one around. He's going to go 129.738, puts him in P6. I think what you're going to see here real quick, if you're watching those times, you're going to see those times get real tight as more of these guys come out, as Nicky is retired. Looks like that one's going to be in the pits. He's going to hold on to that 130.8 with the mediums and look to come from the back. I don't think that one's going to hold up. I think we're going to probably see Nicky drop back to probably about 16th, 17th here. I think these guys are going to start throwing some softs on. We're going to see some times rattled off here. As you can see already, you got quite a few guys that have switched over to the softs. These are the tires they have on the car right now. As you see the invalidation there by Fusions. He'll come back around and see what he can do. Got now as he spins it around. Mitch Burns starting a hot lap here. Let's ride along for a lap around this Japan circuit with 9 minutes left to go here in the qualifying session. Coming through the S's. This is a tough spot. All about being smooth on the throttle and the steering. Don't want to touch the rail. That'll shoot you around here. This spot definitely can. The outside rail will shoot you right into that wall and end your night. See Mitch is just barely over a 100th up, or a 10th up. Coming into the hairpin here. That's a nice tight corner. A little bit bouncy, a little bit of rear traction loss as you're trying to get back to throttle, so you got to be careful there. This right-hander is real tricky. Has a couple different lines. As you come into spoon, another spot. You don't want to get too happy with them rails. They'll shoot you offline. Run it just a little bit wide. Good run there by Mitch Burns. Coming around through Sector 2. We'll see what he does on this one. But just under 3/10 up now. 3/10 up. He's going to be looking for a pole. If he can gain just a little bit more here in Sector 3, he's definitely got a shot at the pole. Sitting P3 right now. He's looking to jump light work. Will he get it done? He will with a 128.772. Just, what, 4/100th up on light work. Great run by Mitch Burns there. As we see, I believe that was GSR Edgar there. Just came across the line with a 129.572. Got a Haas coming around. That's going to be a Deltonian. And then an AlphaTauri. Looks like starting a lap. Jump on with Tiger NASCAR. He's 5.5/10 up on his lap. That'll jump him up the line quite a bit. We'll see where this puts him. 129.612 jumps him up to P7. They're definitely firing it up now. We're starting to see some times put down. Jake Cass starting his first lap. Chatty Duck coming around to start a lap. Young DJ CJ with a 130.031 P11. Good run by him. We got a couple of the Aston Martins coming around. Soy Loco is on an invalidated. Hightower just starting laps. So those Aston Martins working together. Funny story with those Aston Martins. They came into Midwest F1 a couple seasons ago. Joined us. A couple of friends joined in. Got teamed up. And then got split up after Soy made Division 1. Soy gets demoted back to, relegated back down to D2. And they're reunited. If I had some rights to some songs, I could play some emotional songs for them. As they got reunited, happy to see them back together there in the Aston Martin team. see if they can put a good season together. The last time they were together, they did win the Constructor Championship in Division 2. So they're going to look to repeat that this season. We're riding along with Soy right now in the 87 Aston Martin. Jump up here. Hightower's going to come across the line before he will. As you can see, Mitch Burns is your provisional pole leader, 128.772 right now. Light work right behind him with a 128.816. Jump over here. Let's see the intervals. So you can see the intervals to everybody there. Hightower's coming down into this final chicane. Title chicane, easy to miss your braking point on that one. As Fusions retires from the... See if we can get a shot of it here. Looks to be right in the middle of the track. No ghosting on. That was a scary sight for J-Cast. Good reactions there. He's really in a tough spot there. Tough luck for Fusions. Sitting in P8 right now. We'll see if that will hold on. While that happens, Soy did go up to P9 and Hightower to P14. So good job by those guys. Mercedes coming around here. That's going to be light work into the pits. Alfa Romeo coming around. That was into the pits. We got a Haas now. We got Niru. Nope, that's going to be a Deltonian. He's into the pits. So we see these guys coming down into the pits. They're going to be getting ready to go. Welcome everybody in the chat. Sorry, they're keeping me busy. I hadn't checked the chat. Thanks everybody for joining. As we jump in after the first race of the season, looking at the points here, you got text-to-speech out front, 80 points. He's in P3 right now, looking to get tight with that. Light work, your P2 is in second place with 72. After that, you got SC Smith, 60 points, and SC Smith sits in 12th right now, so a little work to do for him. After that, young DJ CJ with 54, and then Nikki with 50. So everybody looking, like I said, only one race in for these guys, so tough to say anybody's game still. As we saw last season, this thing came down to the end here in Division 2. I don't think this season will be any different. The only thing, I think the pace picked up a little bit in Division 2 again this season. There's even more. So we'll definitely see a battle here as they're going to look for the championship. Not only that, but the promotion zone to get into Division 1. That's ultimately what everybody's in here trying to do. So in the constructor fight, we got McLaren out front with 144, the Williams team with 126, and then Mercedes with 122. That'll be your top three in the constructors. As we get rolling here. See everybody coming around on out laps. Got some guys in the pit still. They're coming around looking to set that final lap with just over 2 minutes left in qualifying. We're on board with Niru. Looks like his teammate just out in front of him on an out lap. Maybe looking to time this here down this little backstretch to catch a little bit of a slipstream, but there's not a lot to gain here with that. Because that's a non-DRS zone anyways. And it doesn't look like they're doing that there. Niru backing off there. Not sure if he's out of fuel. Teammate coming around to be the next one over the line. He's just setting Jonathan Dunk the next one after that is going to be on an out lap. We'll come into the Ferrari of Capital 58 there. So we see these lap times here. 128.772 is your provisional pole right now by Mitch Burns. Capital looking to jump up. He's sitting at a 131.339 right now as Nix as retired. Looks like that is in the pits. Don't see him anywhere out there. So as you see, Alfa Romeo of Jonathan Dunk going over the line there. Next round is going to be Capital. He's going to be looking to improve his lap. And he does 201, 30.5591, 2P15. Next is going to be the SC Smith. Houdini after that jumps to a P14, 130.053. Next round, McLaren, a Tiger NASCAR. Looks like he's 6.5 tenths up on his lap. That'll put him up the order. That puts McLaren 3-4 with a 129.013 there. Nice. Looking to start side by side with that one. Got a Mercedes coming around. That's Lightwork starting a lap. And it looks like Soy Loco coming over the line to start a lap. Looks like that Alpine is pitting. A Deltonian coming around, about a 10.5 up on his time. So he goes across the line, gains just under 2 tenths, 131.483. Tough field here. Like I say, this is a stout field. See Jonathan Dunk coming around, just about 4.5 tenths up. That's looking to be right around that pole. We'll see what he can do here in this final sector. Can he come through the final chicane? Will he take that pole? This will be his final set lap. He does with a 128.602. What a run there. Is his teammate coming around next. It's going to be SC Smith. See what he can do on this final lap, and he is going to improve a little bit to P12, 129.832. Houdini coming around. He's into the pits. Hightower is going to be your next one. He's looking to improve his 135 or 130.5. Sitting P15. What's he going to do? He gains a lot there. Goes up to P13, 129.966. Then we got an AlphaTauri coming around. That's not fused. That's into the pits anyways. McLaren coming around. Into the pits. Then we got a Haas, said A Deltonian coming back around. And he is checkered. I believe we are all done there. Light work is on a slow lap. So, yep. There you see it. Oh, hold on there. So coming into the pits. So that is your starting order. Jonathan Dunk, your pole sitter, 128.602 in the Alfa Romeo. So as you can see, Jonathan Dunk out there, 128.6. Mitch Burns right behind him with a 128.7. We're actually going to go here. And they jump over. Mitch Burns is going to join him on row 1. Lightwork and Text-to-Speech is going to be row 2. Tiger NASCAR, Nehru Nixon, row 3. Row 4, Chatty Duck, the reserve. GSR Edgar, the newly seated Williams, in row 4. Jake Haston Power Fusions in row 5. Row 6 is going to be Soy Loco and SC Smith. Row 7 goes to Hightower and Young DJ CJ. Houdini and Capital make up row 8. Evil Prime and Nikki make up row 9. And on your final row is going to be A Deltonian and Fuse Rogue, who did not get a time better than a 159. He won't be eligible for the Hard Charger Award today. Looks like with the times, though, everybody else should be eligible for that. So we'll see who can reel in those points. Quick break, and I'm going to get a drink here. Hold on just a sec. Alright, we got a clear race for today, so no rain. We'll have the drivers getting their strategy set right now. Your top 10 will start on the tires they were on. Your 11th through 20th, they can start on whatever tire they choose, so that'll play into the strategy of the day. Sounds like the talk everybody had was one stops, but as always, your safety cars will play into that. So we will see. I gotta say, last season, I was a lobby host here for Division 2. 16 races. We had 16 no early starts. So I started every one of the races as the timing was correct. So I think that's pretty good with all the leagues out there that I see. It's tough to get it, and to get it 16 out of 16 was awesome. So these drivers definitely doing what they need to. They're getting their strategies, giving each other a second to get themselves ready for this race. As we have, I believe it's 28 laps, I think. 26. We'll see as it gets going here. A lot of dead time. I should have went over the points now. Like I say, we're only one round into 16. This is round number 2. Got an interesting schedule. Anybody who's new to the Midwest F1, the points are a lot different, where everybody from 1st to 20th is going to get points if they finish the race, or 90% of the race. And each division is tiered in points to reward people who reserve up, because we do run all 6 divisions at the same time here on Thursday nights at 9:30 Eastern. So it rewards those drivers to reserve up a division. So we'll see who can gain that. And then we had Chatty Duck is joining us as a reserve tonight in place of, who do we have? Let me look. For the Juve, who I believe was under the weather, was not feeling well. So he let us know, and we got Chatty Duck in here to take his spot. Otherwise, all 19 other drivers are your full-time drivers, so we have nobody reserving up, as D1 did have all 20 checked in tonight, so definitely good to see. We had a lot of check-ins tonight. Figure we have 7 divisions, 140 drivers all at one time, so to have all those check-ins done already was great to see. As you can see, we are starting our formation lap. 27 laps here at Japan. Jonathan Dunk will get us led off. Looking for some exciting racing. Turn 1's going to be where it's at. You got that inside rail, the outside rail. Tough to not get caught up out there and in that stuff. Just adjusting some audio here, just a second. A little bit different when all 20 cars are rolling there. Want to make sure we're giving you the best experience here for Midwest F1 Division 2. We'll jump over here. Jumping on the Division 1. The Division 1 stream here to see what's going on over there. Throwing some bananas in their chat because that's just how I roll. You can see the field a little stretched out there. Looks like the Haas and Nira's dropped back just a little bit. And then Edgar looked to have a gap between him and Duck. Other than that, everybody else kind of keeping it somewhat tidy. Use this formation lap here. You go out and just get a good set of your lap and get those tires warmed up, brakes warmed up, engine nice and toasty, ready to go. You'll see them here, there. Now the AI will take over the vehicle. They will get set onto their grid position, and they will get the red lights started. 5 red lights, and then we will go green. Exciting racing here. We'll try to stay on board and catch everything we can. I think this is going to be one of those races where I am going to be staying very busy trying to keep up with all the action. As the rest of the field comes around here through the final few corners. Looks like they did get stretched back just a little bit, so your front of the course losing a little bit of tire heat. They'll be looking to get that back. Turn 1 will be real interesting here. Alright, here we go. There, oh, and it's off to the side there. You can see the red lights. They are off. Here we go. Jonathan Dunk with the start. We're going to watch back from him. Looks like Texas Speech is not connected right now. Once we get through here, I'll try to get out and get him an invite if I can. Side by side with Mitch Burns and Lightwork back there. We jump back off board. As we see everybody nose to tail so far. Couple off in the grass side by side there. Who we got there? That's the Williams of Fusion, or Alpine of... Which one's which? Edgar and the Williams Fusion and the Alpine. They get that sorted out. Looks like everybody else pretty much still tight. A Deltonian looks like he and Nikki and Fuse have all dropped back a little bit there. Other than that, everybody staying nice and tight here as we're on board with J-Cath right on the gearbox of Soy Loco for P10 right there in front of him. Edgar right in front of that. These guys are nice and tight. D2 really bringing some heat here in lap 1. As we jump back up here, Niru on the back of Chatty Duck. Jonathan Duck got about a half-second lead out there on Lightwork. Those two know each other well as they race in a few other leagues against each other. The McLaren's passing each other. Tiger NASCAR gets around Texas Speech. Actually, it was Texas Speech's AI. Is that correct? We're going to jump out quick here and try to get text and invite in. Can't find him on mine. So here we are. We jump back in there. Right on board with Niru as he's right behind the AI of Texas Speech. And he's going to make that pass through the hairpin. Should be able to clear him here through this right-hander. He is going to get that done. Edgar, the next one in line for that. As you can see, everybody right back here, real tight. We jump on board with Young DJ in 12. You can see 5 cars right there in front. Plenty to race for here as we're on lap number 2. Clean and clear. Everybody's still tight. If you look over at the map, everybody is tight. This is definitely D2 racing right here for Midwest F1. That was part of this last season, and it's a great time. Everybody's nice and clean and keeps it nice and racy. Lightwork takes the fast lap early on here with a 132.4. These guys working around that AI of text. That AI is very aggressive. Got Young DJ way down to that inside line. Young does get that move done. As Capital looking to move up. Let's go over here and see where everybody's moved. Got 4 spots up for Fusions, 3 spots for Young, and Capital up 3 spots as well. So those are your hardest chargers so far. High Tower down 6 and Tex down 8 is the AI. We go back up here with Lightwork. Trying to chase down Dunk. He's got that DRS now. The next time they come around, he'll have that open. Looking to gain back in there and get that lead from him, from that Alfa Romeo. The Mercedes chasing him down. It's like a little Valtteri Bottas tribute as their Alfa Romeo leading Mercedes. He's going to look for some of that this coming season. I don't know if anybody else saw the trailer for the new Drive to Survive, but it was, looks a little interesting. Definitely had plenty of stuff for that this season. It was just a crazy season overall in real life F1. As we see, it's tons of tight racing here. Young looking on the back of Soy Loco. 2 of your drivers that came down from D1 last season right here. The other one that came down was Random Serious, and he actually has retired from the league to go over to PC Racing. So he'll be jumping over there, still around I would imagine, so I wish him luck. And that was in the Williams that GSR Edgar is in now. As we ride on board still with young DJ CJ, he's chasing Soy Loco. Edgar right behind Neru here. It looks to be the closest one. SC Smith does get around Houdini. Those two look to be fighting it back and forth. They're not done yet, actually. Houdini off into the gravel. We see Nikki and A. Deltonian battling it out back here. Nikki up there in the top 5 in the points after week 1, or round 1. He's going to be looking to fight back here. Still early in this race. As you see, Lightwork did get around Jonathan Dunk up here for the lead. We'll stay on board with this one as they come around. Jonathan Dunk's going to be looking to take advantage of that DRS down the front stretch. Closing in on this final chicane. We'll see what he can do. Looks like a good run there. Mitch Burns also in there. Mitch Burns, your Division 3 champion last season, got moved up. Lightwork sets a 132.282. And you can see Dunk didn't have quite enough to get there and do anything with it. What's everybody's tires they're on here? So it looks like light work on the mediums. Other than that, Jonathan Dunk spins it through the S's. You can see him over there on the side. Spun it through the first part of the S, that first left-hander. That is the yellow. I don't think it's a safety car yellow. He is pretty far off the track. I don't think we're going to see a safety car here as lap 5 will continue under greens. That gives light work out there, though. He's out over 1 second now. After that, you got Mitch Burns, Tiger NASCAR, Chetty Duck, the other Alpine Power Fusion. So you got the Alpines right now running 4th and 5th. A good day for them so far. Nero Nixon 6th. GSR Edgar is going to be hunting him down now as he's got it under 3/10. Coming around Spoon, we'll stay on board with this one for just a minute. Is that Williams chasing the Haas. Williams this season in real life was real impressive, putting up more points than the Alfa Romeo and the Haas team. Something as Pork knows I predicted before the season started. And GSR Edgar going to get that run on the Haas, and he does get that move done. Heading into the final chicane, Neru's not done. He's going to take a look. Not quite enough to get side by side, but he'll have the DRS down the front stretch here. See what he can do. See, they got a little bit of a gap back to JCast from where they're at. Neru's going to have a run. Is he going to take a look? Nope, he's going to back off. Tough spot to try to stick your nose in that late. Asking for trouble if you do. He tucks back in, comes back through the S's, as we do have one DNF for the day. That's Jonathan Dunk. Tough luck for him. Like I said, that has stretched out just a little bit as GSR Edgar has gotten a little bit of a gap over him. As we can see, we'll go back down here between SC Smith, Hightower. Looks like Hightower chasing this battle with SC Smith. Is that still an AI? Yes, it is. Text-to-speech still an AI out there. So Smith and Hightower are going to look to make this move, get around him, as they are not too far behind Fuse Rogue, who now probably is quite a few spots up. But like I said, he's not eligible for the hard charger point today, as he did not put in a qualifying lap that was legible. Legible sounds good. That's the word we're going to go with. Hightower goes out of the DRS zone as Smith is trying to get through that. He's got to make that move quick. You don't want to waste too much time trying to get around him, as we see Edgar up here side by side. Great view for that. I jumped over to that one perfectly. Alpine Williams side by side. Oh, that Alpine. Fusions almost took a look at the pit wall. Does have the DRS coming down here. As you can see, we'll jump on board with Neru, watching this battle from right behind. Edgar and Fusion battling this thing out. Neru looking to capitalize on any mistakes made. Chatty Duck has closed in on the back of Tiger NASCAR up there. We'll stay on board with the 3-car battle because a little bit tighter, as Hightower and Smith have made the move around Texas Beach down there for 14th and 15th. They'll look to keep battling through the field. We are on lap number 7 of 27. Just over 20 and a half laps to go here. Exciting racing going on so far. We've had a clean and clear race. Got one out so far, 19 still running. This battle still tight. They're still all within DRS of each other, as J-Cast right on the back of it now as well. We're going to have a little bit of a DRS train coming around as they get back to the front stretch here, as long as they stay like this. That kind of plays against some of these other drivers that are fighting each other in this group, though. As you want the DRS to get around them, but the guy in front of you's got DRS, and that doesn't help you a lot. When you got the DRS train like this, it's going to be the one who's got the lower wing settings that's going to probably benefit the most. As we see, everybody here is still tight enough. Looks like they'll come through into the DRS detection zone. All of them will get his. Lightworks, that's a 132.038. Fusions picks up a 3-second penalty. Got a couple of penalties going so far. We'll look at those here in just a minute. You see a little bit of a snake down the front stretch between these four drivers. J-Cast not quite enough to gain there. Looks like he didn't quite get the run out of the corner. They come through 1 and 2 here. Nice and smooth. Stay on board as we go through the S's. Jump off here. We have no reason for a HUD right now. We'll jump on and keep an eye on this. We ride along with J-Cast. Got Neru right in front of him. In front of that's Fusions, and then in front of him is Edgar, I believe is that order, correct? Yep. As they come around here into the hairpin, they are all still nose to tail. Side by side goes the Haas. Oops. Wrong camera. See Fusions up on that curb just a little bit. We'll stay on board here as he is nice and tight to the gearbox of Fusions. Going to be looking to get a run here out of Spoon. Got a little bit loose there. Fusions jumps out a little bit. Fusions out onto that rail. That's going to give Neru a little bit of a run here. Will he take a look side by side through this next corner? Is always a little bit tricky. As they are, we will stay on board with this one. Fusions does a little bit of a crossover, a little bit of contact there. You do see Fusions off there. Into the wall. I think that's a tough one to call on anybody. That, like I say, before they even got there, that was a tough one to take. As we do have a safety car on lap number 8. We'll have our first safety car of the day coming around there. You see him off to the side. Tough luck for the Alpina Fusions. DNF number 2 for us here today. We'll start to see, as you can see there, P6 through 14th right now is in the pits, minus Hightower, who's shooting up through there. All your soft runners there going to be coming into the pits, except your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on the softs were past the pits when that came out. So they are going to play against them. They could hurt, could save them. See what the leader of Lightwork does. We'll go ahead and jump on board with him. So we see a mixture of strategy there. You got Edgar in 7th is your first one to pit. He's on the mediums, all the way back to Adel, Tony, and in 11th on mediums. Evil Prime went to the softs. Then you got Capital, Smith, and Text onto the hards. And then 3 more mediums behind that. Fuse, Houdini, and Nikki. Jump over here while we got a second. We'll take a look at the position changes. Hightower up 7 spots. He's that first one who has not pit. Or the last one who has not pit, I should say. And then in front of him, Soy Loco, his teammate, up 6 spots. You got Adel Tonians up 8 spots. Young DJ CJ and Evil Primer up 5 spots. And then you got Text to Speech as the AI is down 11. And this is just the current runners. Obviously, Fusions and Junk have their downs are not good, but they're also DNF, so not much they can do about it now. As we can see, they're coming around here, picking up the safety car now. Give me just a sec here. Alright, and they are going first lap behind the safety car here on lap number 10. Lap number 11 will also be behind safety car. Hopefully get back to green on lap number 12. Lightwork leading the way here. And as I was busy trying to fix that. So it looks like everybody has pit except for Adeltonian back there on the mediums. He's going to be looking to one-stop this, I would imagine. Take those mediums as long as he can. Hop over to the softs at the end. Definitely a possible strategy, especially with the safety car here. Saving a lot of tire. The biggest thing is just keeping that thing going and gaining what you can. As there are still 18 runners on the track, so a 10th spot isn't too bad in that. We'll see how that strategy plays out as this day goes. As you can see, Lightwork there, your leader, onto the hard tires. Definitely going to the end. And I honestly, those mediums, I think, with somebody who can save tires, definitely a possibility to take it that far. So Lightwork ran P2 last week, looking to carry on. Just joined us last season and moved up the ranks real quick. Like I say, he got a P2 last week. Mitch Burns, he ran 13th last week, had some bad luck, I think, or last race. It was 2 weeks ago, so not last week, but so he's looking to capitalize, bounce back here, jump back up them points. He's running P2. Tiger NASCAR was gone last week, so no points earned. That's a tough one. It's missing races always hurts, along with DNF. So definitely looking to have a good race here, gain as many points back as he can, and start that fight back up the championship. Chetty Duck is a reserve today, so does earn the constructor points and does earn points, but not part of the drivers' championship. So if he ever takes a full-time seat, it would go towards that, though. So definitely worth getting the points. GSR Edgar, it's going to be his first race with us. He had a DNF last week in Division 3. Just moved up to Division 2 this race. And took over there as Random Series did retire. And then Elma Jacko was in your D2 race last week. He has moved up to D1. Took my spot up in Division 1 as I've retired to do the commentary for the divisions. I'm going to bounce between all the divisions as much as I can this season. Try to get as many races in for you guys. So definitely want to make sure you like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss any of the action here today. And after Edgar, you got Niru. Niru there ran 16th last week. Another one that's just looking to have a bounce back week here. Running P6 right now, not a bad deal for him. Soy Loco had a DNF last week, running P7, looking to bounce back. P7 last week for young DJ CJ, so right on course with what he did last week. J Cass just moved up this week as well into that Williams. He got a second last week in Division 3. He's going to be looking as safety car is in this lap. Here we go. So right on board with Lightwork as the safety car starts its way back in. He's got a nice gap between, trying to get those hard tires warmed back up. We'll stay on board with him and we'll actually watch back to see what kind of jump he can get. Always hard to do on the hards. Looks like he is going to get some grip and take off. Mitch Burns did not get a very good jump. He's almost a second down already. As you can see, they have stretched back out. Tiger NASCAR within range. Not enough to do anything yet. Evil Prime side by side. Does give the spot. Adeltonian swinging the balls around into the turn one. Wasn't backing out. Took that spot back from Evil Prime. No harm, no foul. They move through the S's here. Adeltonian's mediums aren't too bad. I would imagine they're not too horribly worn yet, so he should be okay to run this thing for a while. keep a nice smooth line as Evil Prime is trying to catch him. Evil Prime is on the fresh soft, so behind him, Capital, Hightower, and Smith are all on the hard. So he's going to look to stretch this thing out. Got to get as much as you can here if you're going to go on those softs. This is so far right now the tightest battle on the track, as Evil Prime is not done with him just yet. You can see here he's taking a look, coming through this next sector. It's going to be tough. Adeltonian's going to have to hold him back and not let him get a run off the corner coming out of Spoon. Good run there. It looks like he gets a good run out of that portion. Runs it a little bit deep. Evil Prime gets a little bit better run. This is definitely going to be another side-by-side. Like I said last time, the side-by-side up here through this next section is a tough one. He's going to stay tucked in and look to do it down the front stretch. Take a shot then as they head into the chicane. Final 3 corners here they come through. Mitch Burton sets a 1:31.874 for a fast lap. A little bit of contact there between Evil and Adeltonian. I don't think any damage done. Got a yellow in Sector 3. That looks like Houdini went around. He's going to keep going. Looks like he just spun it. Didn't get any damage. As we jump back, these guys still not done yet. They are dicing back and forth. Evil Prime is pushing him. Like I say, Evil Prime's got to go. He wants to go here. Got to take advantage of those fresh softs while you can. Adeltonian doing a great job of holding him off on the mediums. J-Cast right on the back of Young DJ. CJ up there will jump on board. I'll keep an eye on that one. Young DJ. CJ does pick up a penalty. And into the hairpin. Still nose to tail right here for 10th and 11th. See Fuse Rogue back here on the back of Hightower. He might take a look. He's on the mediums, Hightower on the hard, so a little bit of a tire advantage here. He might be able to take a shot. He's not going to quite get it done there. Evil Prime went for a spin. Did he get any damage there? Doesn't look like it. Looks like through Spoon, maybe caught a rail. I was talking about those earlier. They are tricky. They will shoot you off. Won't give you damage, but they'll shoot you off the track and definitely lose a lot of spots there. He drops back. Adeltonian now has a nice gap. So he's going to be looking to stretch that out as much as he can. DRS is enabled. Miru on the back of Edgar up here for P5. Looking to get that top 5 back. Edgar looking to show off a little bit here. Moves up from D3. 1 week in Division 3. Comes up to Division 2. He's looking to put down a solid finish here and show everybody what he's about. Miru's looking to take that top 5 back, though. He wants that spot. Not ready to give it up just yet. Jump back down here. Fuse Rogue on the back of Capital. Coming through the S's. We'll see if he can do anything here. He's looking to fight back from that 20th starting spot. He's up to P12 right now. As the leader comes through the hairpin up there. He's got a little bit of a gap. Mitch Burns looking to chase him back down. As Mitch Burns' teammate back here. Fuse chasing Capital. Capital has gotten to the back of Adeltonian now, so we'll see if he can do anything. We'll have DRS if he holds this line. But now he's got to worry about Fuse, who's right on the back of him. We'll jump on board with Fuse. They come down through here into the Spoon. Looks like Fuse trying to let him know he's there. He's filling up those mirrors of the Ferrari. Looks like Capital gets a great run out of Spoon as they come down here into the 130 or 190. I can't remember what it is now. 130 or 190R. Something like that. Into the chicane. 3 corners to go till the start-finish line. Capital runs a little bit wide there. Fuse has to back it off. A little DRS for both of them. Capital looks like he's probably running a little bit lower of a wing than Fuse is, as he does pull away just a little bit there down the straight. And it looks like Fuse has a lot better traction through the corners, so it's a tough one to pass when you got somebody like that, because you can get a great run, but then their low downforce really gives them a stretch on you. So we'll jump back off board and watch this battle as they go through the end of the S's. Coming through to the end of Sector 1. We're on lap 15. This race is really flying by. 1 safety car so far. And you can see the Aston Martin to Hightower closing in on the back of this battle as well. trying to get himself in DRS zone to get in part of this DRS train. His Fuse does take a little bit of a look on the Ferrari. Like I say, filling up those mirrors, let him know you're there, hope he makes a mistake. Gives you that spot a little bit easier to do. Keeping an eye on Mitch Burns. He is closing in a little bit here and there. Nothing too greatly significant as Chatty Duck closing in on the back of Tiger NASCAR. Coming down into that final chicane. We'll stay on board with this one as they're going to head down the front stretch. A little DRS open. Tiger NASCAR is going to look to defend from Chatty Duck here. He wants that podium. He wants to hold on. Light work sets fast lap 131.812. Like I say, Chatty Duck going to take a look here. He's going to make that move down into 1 and 2. And he does clear him. Decent view of that one there as Tiger NASCAR will drop down to P4. Chatty Duck, your reserve, into P3. Good showing by him right here. You see, Fuse does get by Capital now. It looks like he's got A. Deltonian in his sights next. We jump on board with Capital as they come through the SS. A. Deltonian on them older 15-lap mediums. He's going to look to go probably about 3 or 4 more laps. I think everybody else is going. Evil Prime may be the only one who has to pit yet. 18 runners still on. We're on lap number 16. Capital looking to stay with this fight here. He let Fuse roll by. Fuse is up on the back of Adeltonian. He's going to want to catch back up, and Keith's with him. They're going to look for the twofer on the Haas, but the Ferrari drops back there. Doesn't get a very good run out. Fuse had a look, but tucks it back in there. Once again, fill those mirrors up. Let him know you're there. He's going to fight this one to the end. We'll have 11 to go this time by as Lightwork has stretched it out over a second now over Mitch Burns, so he'll be out of DRS. Tiger NASCAR not done with Chatty Duck yet as he's within half a second still. Niru is still on the back of Edgar. Stay on board with this 3-car battle as Hightower does have it, and S.C. Smith also could be part of this train. Chatty Duck goes to a 131.278 for a fast lap. So the battle for the fast lap now going. Tiger NASCAR, he spun it. Oh no. Looks like he may have spun it going into the pits there. Not sure exactly what happened as we have a few cars going down into the pits. As you see, Soy was upside down there. It looks like the game reset his car. I'm going to say that wasn't him resetting it. When I flipped to him, he was upside down, flipped sideways, but all the wheels are still in the car. Don't know how that's even possible with sim damage. He's just looking to stay out of the way as he goes through the sand. That Aston Martin's beat up. We got a Ferrari off up here with Capital. We got all action all over the place right now. Capital gets back on. No damage on his car, though. Just off into the sand. Soy will look to limp this thing back around, get a fresh wing, some fresh tires, and do what he can. 10.5 laps to go. Lightwork still leads the way. As you can see there, the Ferraris get around the Aston Martin. Stay with this. The Ferraris kind of battle here. We'll see how much they fight each other. Are they just going to let one another go here? You got mediums on hards. See who takes the advantage here. Everybody kind of stretched out now. This is the closest battle on the track. Everybody about that second range. Edgar, Niru got around Edgar. I missed that one. Edgar within 6/10 now. As we'll jump over to that one. They head down into 1 and 2, going towards the S's. Edgar not looking to want to let Niru get away from him. Evil Prime picks up a 5-second speeding into pit lane. As he had those softs, he goes back to another set of softs for a 2-stop strategy here. See where he can come out, what kind of laps he can put in. Maybe he can get a fast lap here, steal those points as well. The Williams of Edgar and J-Cast now running 5th and 6th. Great day for them. I believe that's going to be your top team so far. Yeah, I believe so. Stay on board with this one. Edgar's still chasing Niru, so he's looking to gain even more yet. Closest battle on the track yet. Houdini and Capital stretch back out a little bit. As we see GSR Edgar really trying to put in a battle here, not trying to let Niru get away. We stay on board for this battle as they come through that final chicane, the final 3 corners. Great line there for Edgar, but Niru does get a good run out of the corner. See if Edgar has enough to get him down into 1 and 2. He's got a pretty good run here. I think he's going to have a shot at him. We're going to look at this one from a different view. Oh, he does. Shoots right around him. Niru tucks back in on the backside as they head back towards the S's there. Great run by Edgar. These guys aren't done yet. They're putting on a show for us for P4. As Chetty Duck got around these guys earlier and really has stretched it out. Now he's over 4 seconds ahead of this. Your podium right now, Lightwork, Mitch Burns, and Chetty Duck. Lightwork really dominating out front today. He's gotten out there and really ran away. Young DJ does set the fast lap, 1:31.173 in the Red Bull. So he's looking to gain any points extra that he can today as he's in P14 right now. He is right on the back of Adel Tony, and Adel Tony did go in and get some fresh softs just a lap ago. So you see quite a few guys had gone into pit. Didn't jump over with him. We're staying on board up here for this P4 battle. I don't think Niru's really close enough right now. He's got to really close in. He might even lose DRS here if he doesn't get going. About that 8.5 tenths range where he's sitting at now, closing in just a little bit. As long as he stays tight here, he will get the DRS down the front stretch, but I just don't think he's going to have enough to make a run. Unless Edgar makes a mistake here through this final section. Final few corners, Edgar gets a pretty good run out. See what Niru can do with the DRS. Let's pull up the telemetry. He's got 27 to Edgar's 45 for the ERS. And he didn't quite have enough to get to him. Does tuck back in, 3.5, 4 tenths back. See Nicky back here. Taking a look at SC Smith for that 9th spot. He's got a good run. Little bit of side-by-side there. And he tucks back in. Will get that move done. Smith tucks back into 5th. Got the Ferraris back tight. 2.5 tenths between them. Young DJ CJ back there, 14th. He's going to look to make a move on Adel Tonian for that 13th spot. He does have the fastest lap right now. And he does complete that pass on those softs. So he'll look to close in on the Ferraris up ahead of him. They're about 3.5 tenths up, or 3.5 seconds up on him. He's going to look to close in on them and get this thing done. They got about 7.5 laps to go to get it done. As you can see, Lightwork has stretched out that lead just a little bit more. We have a yellow in Sector 2. Looks like an Aston Martin around. Is that Soy? That was Soy. Did go around. Looks like no damage on it. He'll get it back going as he is down a lap now. He gets a 10-second. That's one of those dumb Codemasters penalties. Didn't cut. He didn't gain anything by it. But he throws a 10-second penalty on there. So we'll see if he comes back around and just finishes this thing out. What else do we got going on? Niru and Edgar still going after this thing. Niru not going to have enough down the front stretch this time to do anything. Fuse up to 7th now from that 20th starting spot. SC Smith not done with Nicky here. He's going to take a look down the front stretch. Will he have enough of a run going down into 1 and 2 to get this thing done? Doesn't look like it as Nicky gets a great run out of that final corner and stretches that thing out. Even with DRS, not enough to do anything with it. We jump back off board. So we see Young got this down to 2.4 now for that 12th spot. He's trying to hunt him down. 7 laps to go to try to get to him. 6.5 actually. Jump back up here with Niru and Edgar. They're still going after this thing. Staying within DRS of each other. What's the ERS battle? Still about 20 between them. Young DJ went around there. Drops himself back to 15th. Tough luck there. He was really cutting him down. I think he had enough to get up to 11th. Evil Prime into the pits, I believe, DNF. So, retired in the pits. Not having the best race today. He's going to look to recoup and come back next week. I'll do my best. I'll try to get some interviews done after this race. So, we'll jump on board here. Lightwork out front, 2.4 out. He's led the majority of this race, really had a good race. His biggest competitor, I think, was Dunk, who got caught up in the S's and knocked the front wheel off the thing. He was our first DNF of the day. We've had 3 now total. 17 drivers still out on track, putting this thing together. As you can see, it's pretty stretched out. You get to Niru and Edgar still battling back and forth. Niru did get back around him. Oh, Lightwork picks up a 3-second penalty. Guess what, everybody? This just got interesting. He's only 2.4 ahead right now. Mitch Burns just has to keep that thing within 3 seconds, and he will take the win. Lightwork has dominated this race, essentially. He's been out front almost the whole thing, and one penalty may throw the whole thing away. Edgar and Niru is still back here battling this thing out. They're not done with this yet. Adeltonian on the back of Tiger NASCAR back there for 13th. He's got the softs over the mediums. But I got to stay on board with this one. S.C. Smith is within DRS of Nicky. Those two have been kind of fighting it out for a few laps here. We'll stay on board and see what Edgar can do here down the back stretch. No DRS in this area. He's got about a 30 ERS advantage. Soy Loco does pull it down. No, he went safety car. As you can see, Soy over there in the middle of the S's. Looks like that left-hander must have got him, and he's going to DNF there. So we have a safety car on lap number 22. We are going to have a shootout. And don't look now. Your leaders, first and second, I don't think they were able to pit. P3 of Chatty Duck was your first one to pull in. So as we ride along here, we're going to see how these guys work out. Niru coming out first, Edgar right behind, J-Cast. So after these process through, we'll jump over here and we'll take a look at everything, penalties included, see where we are. We're on lap number 23. First lap behind the safety car. Field's kind of stretched out. We might get 3 laps of safety car here as well. So we could have a 3-lap shootout or a 2-lap shootout. All depends how this plays out. Alright, so let's jump over here, take a look at penalties. 3 seconds for Lightwork, 5 for Niru. When did he get that, I wonder? 5 seconds are always questionable. It could have been under safety car earlier. Don't know exactly. But with this safety car, he would have had to serve it. He must have got it going into the pits actually here. Because he pit, so it would have served it. Yeah, so he must have picked up that 5-second penalty right here going into the pits, and I missed that one. Everything going on. Anyways, 3 seconds for Lightwork. Young DJ, CJ, Hightower, and Adeltonian all with 3. But to be honest, guys, as we're looking at those penalties, we're in Japan. It's not like it's hard and it's easy to get penalties here, but really, a total of 4 drivers with 3 seconds each is pretty damn good, guys. So, as you watch this one back, props to all of you. They're coming around here, trying to catch back up to the field there. Give you a quick through the field. You got NFS Lightwork out front with that 3-second penalty. That one's going to hurt. These guys stay tight. He could drop quite a few spots because of this safety car. Behind him, you got the AlphaTauri of Mitch Burns. Behind him, the Alpine of the reserve, Chatty Duck. Haas of Niru in P4. GSR Edgar in the Williams in P5. His teammate J-Cast right behind him in P6. The other AlphaTauri in P7. So you got 2 AlphaTauris and 2 Williams in the top 10. 2 Mercedes in the top 10. And that would be all. So you got Fuse in the AlphaTauri in 7th. Ferrari a Capital 58 in 8th place. Nicky 64, one of the OGs of the Midwest F1 here, is in P9. Young DJ CJ in 10th. You got the Alfa Romeo of SC Smith in 11th. Hightower in the Aston Martin in 12th. Houdini in the other Ferrari in 13th. Tiger NASCAR in 14th in the McLaren. Your other Haas of Adeltonian in 15th. And then you got Text-to-Speech, who is, I believe, still an AI. It's hard to tell with no ghosting on it, wouldn't ghost him. So, till he catches up. Here he comes. We'll be able to tell here if he is able to get back in here or not. Nope, he is still an AI back there in 16th, so tough luck here. It seems like lately he's had maybe some connection issues. Not sure what's going on for him, so hopefully they can get that sorted out. So we're coming around here. Everybody caught back up. We might go green here. If we do, it's a 3-lap shootout. Sector 3 coming up here. You see Lightwork is stretching that out a little bit already. So you see the tires there. You got some softs behind him. That's going to be the interesting thing. Can these guys... S.C. Smith picks up a 3-second penalty. How did he do that? Safety car in this lap. Such a late call. As you see, Mitch Burns, Chatty Duck right up on the tail. Chatty Duck on them fresh softs. He's sitting the best on those. But as you can see, Lightwork has stretched it out a little bit there. We ride along Chatty Duck here. He's looking for that P2 right behind. Not enough to get it done. Mitch holds him off for 1 and 2. They're going to head back off into the S's here. We'll jump off board with this one. We do see not a lot of shuffling of positions right now, so we'll stay on board with this one as this is for the podium. Second and third battling with Nehru Nixon, GSR, Edgar right behind him, Jay Cass as well. Everybody looking nice and tight here. Like I say, good start to this thing. 16 runners still going after this thing. Lightwork needs to open that thing up. Going to be tough to do on those hards. Mitch Burns closing in, trying to stay tight, but he has got Chatty Duck up his gearbox, looking to hold him off. Can he hold the Duck off? We will see. So as you can see, Chatty Duck has, fell back just a little bit, maybe a 10. Nehru Nix picks up a 3-second penalty. That one's going to drop him quite a bit. He's looking at probably 4 or 5 spots right now as it sits. He's going to look to stretch out as much as he can, but he can't do much. He's got to chase down Chatty Duck right in front of him. And Chatty's having to fight Mitch. That's good for Lightwork. That's what he hopes, is that these two will battle it out and let him stretch it out. He's got it up to 1.5 now after 1 lap. 130.612 on those hards. He sets a fast lap on the hards. This guy is flying right now. Looking to stretch it out. Chatty Duck doesn't quite have enough to get around him. He'll have to tuck back in here as we go back through the back part of this. Nehru's looking to gain as much as he can. Like I say, I haven't seen a lot of shuffling of positions through the field yet. Looks like everybody's, being mindful and respectful of each other here, even in the final laps. Trying to make sure we all finish and keep the wheels on these things. Love to see this thing. Jump on with Fuse here. We'll jump on the onboard as they're going to come down under the bridge. As you can see, these guys are just nose to tail. So those penalties can hurt. 2.1 is what Lightwork has stretched it open now with 1.5 laps to go. He only needs a little under 8/10. Can he open this thing up enough to take this? If he does, it's a well-deserved win. Like I say, he has dominated a majority of this race. So we'll see if he can hold on to that and get himself that W for round number 2. Brought it home second last week, so he's going to be looking for that win. As you can see, I'm on board here with Fuse. He's chasing the Williams, the J. Cass, and Edgar, as they're chasing them even more up front. Lightwork sets another fast lap of 130.592 on the hard tires at the end of this race. Just killing it. DRS is going to be enabled for this last lap. Only place that's going to be available is down that front stretch, so not much going to be gained by that one. As you can see, these are staying tight. We'll jump up here. Chatty Duck chasing down Mitch. Gonna look to battle him out here, and if that happens, Lightwork will stretch that thing out. Chatty's gonna, I think, if he does it right, he sets him up to make that move after Spoon. I think that's his best bet on those softs, is to get a good run out of Spoon and not give Mitch a chance to come back after him, because if he does it too early, he could lose that. Hightower picks up another 3-second penalty. I believe that's 6 seconds now for him. 2.4 is the lead to the gap to the leader. Chatty Duck still chasing down Mitch here for P2. He's got him. Taking a look on the outside. A little bit of grass touch. He's got the inside. Oh, that's a close battle he's got going on here. You see Niru right behind him. Can he get the run out? He is going to have a little bit of a run here. Not going to have enough to get around him, though. This thing's coming down to the final few corners. Takes a look here. Doesn't have enough to do it. Mitch Burns holds him off. Takes a look to the left side. As we see side by side for P2. As these two battles, Lightwork has stretched out over 3 seconds. He will get the victory. Chatty can't get it done. Will he lose the spot to Nerud? But doesn't matter because of the penalties. Look at these guys. 4 cars under a blanket there for the finish. What a finish that was. Lightwork hold on to it by 6/10. Chatty Duck did nothing but a huge favor there for Lightwork. Lightwork will definitely be having to pay him off there. As you can see the field coming across the line here. Look at the gap between Smith and Houdini there. Under a 10th between them as they came over the line. Smith takes that final 10th spot. What a finish, guys. 3-lap shootout to end this thing after the second safety car of the day. We had 16 runners finish it. Driver of the day goes to Fuse Rogue. Not eligible for the hard charges, so we'll take a look and see who's going to get that one, along with the fastest lap. Give me just a sec here. I'm going to jump in and start a party and... Oops. Alright, there we go. We'll jump back over. Lightwork takes the win. In P1, Mitch Burns in P2, Chatty Duck in P3. Got GSR Edgar P4, J Cass and the other Williams in 5th. Got Fuse Rogue in 6th, Nikki in 7th, Tiger NASCAR in 8th, Niru in 9th, Smith in 10th, Houdini, Young, DJ, CJ, Hightower, Adel, Tony, and Text-to-Speech and Capital round out your runners. Then you had 4 DNFs down there. Let's see. Do we have... We'll wait for these guys to join in. We'll try to get a couple of these guys in for an interview today. Yeah, it looks like Mitch won't be in for the interview, but maybe we'll get Lightwork in, Chatty in. As we had one heck of a race down there in Japan. Round 2 for division number 2. We saw one heck of a race there. A couple of safety cars. One late definitely made it an interesting race. As we saw Lightwork try to hold on to that thing at the end. Good battle by him. And there we go. We got Chatty Duck in the chat now. Chatty, one heck of a race you put on there at the end. Thought you were going to get that P2. Good racing though, side by side. Good job reserving today. What was your thoughts on that race tonight?
Yeah, it was a pretty good race, to be honest. Pretty solid. Like, we did the practice here on Tuesday, and I was struggling quite a lot with the setup, so I made some changes, which really helped. And then, yeah, just good fun, good battling. First with Tiger early on in the race, and then yeah, with Mitch at the end, and I couldn't quite get past, but it was good fun all the same.
Yeah, it definitely was. I caught the majority of that. I stayed on with you guys there at the end because I knew it was going to be a close one. And then Lightwork picked up that penalty, and I really thought you guys were going to get that shot at that win. early on you had a little altercation with what looked like an AI car. Maybe somebody had dropped out. One heck of a save you had there. I barely caught it. Looked a little bit sideways. Were you thinking that was the end of your day there?
No, I was just in the moment trying to save it more than anything else. But yeah, there was I think it was text to speech. His car, he was disconnected, so he was in AI mode. So I just tried to get through as soon as possible, and then I think like my rear wheels and his front wheels got a bit tangled up, so it was a bit scary through the final chicane, but yeah, got through.
Yeah, I actually had jumped on the onboard of the car right behind that when it happened, so I caught a lot of it. So you have to go back and watch the stream and see it was a hell of a save. Great run today.
Yeah, for sure.
Good job on the podium. Hope to see you back soon.
Yeah, thanks, Monkey.
Thank you. Now we bring in Light Work, your race winner. Barely snuck that one out there at the end. Did you think you were going to stretch that gap enough to get that win?
Yeah, I didn't think it was possible, to be honest. I figured that everyone on the softs and even the mediums behind, they would pass me or gain time for that 3 seconds, but I guess Mitch's tires were just falling off, and they just kept battling him and Chatty, so I got a bit lucky and unlucky at the end. It was like a mix of a situation, but it kind of balanced itself out, so I'm happy with the win in the end, and a great battle throughout the whole race.
Yeah, definitely. You had stretched it out, and then you got the penalty, and then the safety car came out, and I thought you were done for, especially being on the hards. I didn't think you had a chance. And then you came out and set a fast lap, so definitely a dominating race in a way, if you want to look at it that way, because you really did kill it. So congratulations. Anything else you got?
Nothing much. It was a good battle with Mitch. I really thought he was going to get me on those mediums once we both pitted under the first safety car. I just luckily held him up just barely, and then just stretched the gap until the next safety car, and yeah, great race to the very end.
Yeah, Division 2 definitely never disappoints. That's one thing I was sure of after driving there last season. I knew Division 2 was one of the best ones to watch, and there was a point there about, I want to say 5 or 6 laps in, where all 20 drivers were still within range on the map. They were all within half of a sector of each other, and it was awesome to watch because nobody was dropping back. All the battles were close, so great job today. Good win. I would imagine that's going to get you the points lead after this week. So going into round 3, how's your confidence for next week?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, and I think next week is Monza, so
yep,
really looking forward to it. A track I really like, so looking forward to racing next week with everyone else, especially with how close everyone's been.
Definitely. Well, congratulations tonight. We'll see you next week in Monza. I'm not sure if I'll be back or if I'll be in a different division, but either way, good luck on the season, and we'll see you another time.
Thanks, Monkey.
Thank you. All right, that's all we got tonight for Midwest Division 2. Got round number 2 here. It was an exciting race. Came down to the end with a 3-lap battle to finish this thing out. It was good to watch. Thank you for everybody who joined. Like, follow, and subscribe. And I enjoy it. Make sure you throw me some bananas if you can. I really appreciate anything everybody does, and we'll see you next week.